Rise and shine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I am here with your pick a card tarot reading for Saturday, December 19th, 2020. And if you're wondering why I'm just kind of sing-songing along, it's because we're dealing with the water element today, my peeps in the water element. And the card today and the animal today are going to be possibly dredging up some things that it might be good for you to think about or ponder on, and that would be wavy, wavy, wavy. I'm riding the waves. The walrus, which is in the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, my beloved animal ally deck, the Eight of Cups. Now, why this is going to take some consideration is, like really any tarot card or, really any tarot card and really any spirit animal, there's always a flip side to something. And then, as we learned earlier, or we were reminded of earlier, when you say it's a double-edged sword, it's a double-edged coin, it's really not, because there's that third edge that goes down the middle of a sword and down the middle of like the pentacles or any kind of coin. So you've got a third kind of truth in there somewhere, right? So today, Saturday, is ruled by the third eye chakra, and its color is like an indigo-y kind of color, which ties right into the water element. And that's a lot of flowy water. And yesterday, y'all, it rained like the dickens here in Florida, and I've just been like ever since. And I got a really good night's sleep last night. Woo 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 woo. I'm ready to go. That and my 4 glasses of iced tea I already had this morning. So the other thing is Saturn does rule today, and I've always wondered how it really kind of just really how it came to pass that a go planet could, like a taskmaster planet, could also come in alignment with your third eye chakra. Now, let's be clear. It's people that made all this stuff up, right? I get divine messages every day, and I know that I know that I know they're coming from my higher self, the universe, source, whatever, right? I know that. But when you start putting together correlations and things like that, these are correlations that people, that humans, have gotten messages from spirit or whatever. So I believe in what I believe in, but I can't factually prove any of this to you. Factually. Okay. So when I take a look at, and the reason I'm harping on the chakra and the planet for today is they seem diametrically opposed, which, when most people think, well, I'm going to sit and let something come through my third eye, it's a very meditative, kind of sacred-y kind of thing, right? But it doesn't have to be. I mean, I've had things go ka-wham, just slap me upside my third eye chakra. And that's been a good thing because that person needed that information fast and on a dime, and it was big information, right? And it didn't leave too bad of a mark. When I take a look at what Walrus is meaning for you all today as the Eight of Cups. Now, my deck, the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, if you're just joining us, and thank you to all the new subscribers, and thank you to all my longtime subscribers. I read with my own award-winning, history-making, best-selling Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, right? And the cards that are the tarot cards, they're married to the animal ally, the spirit totem and power animal that wanted to be part of that card. And they're also based in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot meanings. So taking a look at that card, anytime this card comes for somebody, anytime I see it, it's pulled, I intuit, because remember now, Bernadette practices intuitive tarot, right? I know all the symbolism, I know all the stories, I know all the myths, the myth, the man, the legend, I know them all. But remember, when you're drawing a card for yourself or somebody else, it's about the meaning, the tarot card meaning that is right for them at that moment. And this is a card of abandonment, escapism, inverted, it's about complete clarity. But right now, this year, we're just reading with them upright. And then at the beginning of the year, I'm going to start to infuse the inverted meanings as well, and do those pulls as well. But this card, when you look at the actual card, it's the Eight of Cups, and it looks like one of the cups are missing, but it's not. If you count at the bottom, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups, 5 golden chalices, and 3 on the top. Well, our mind wants to play tricks on us. We think because they're not evenly balanced on the top, they aren't perfect matchy-matchy with the ones on the bottom, and you got that old boy's flaming red boots in the middle of them, you're like, oh, gosh, see that open spot? Something's missing. Perfect, perfect, perfect thing for this card, because this card is about walking away from things, uh, you know, you just had enough spiritually, mentally, emotionally, maybe physically. In your mind, there's something missing. It could be in your spirit, in your heart, something is missing. And you want to set out on a quest to find it. Excellent. I'm all about people being, find your joy, right? Find it. There's a there's a really great movie, you guys. Hector, it's Hector something. Hector finds his happiness or something like that. And it's got Simon Pegg in it. If you guys know Simon Pegg from the Mission Impossible series, amazing actor. But it's this amazing. I'm just going to keep using the word amazing. I've seen this movie like 5 times. I just can't. It's candy for me. It's just a beautifully done movie with. It's beautiful. Hector something happiness. Simon Pegg. Uh, I think they have it on Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever. Please find this movie and watch it, because if you're in search of something, if you're thinking there's something missing, and there very well may be, this is a fantastic movie for you to see. If you're thinking there's something missing, but you get to the end of your journey or in the middle of your journey and go, oh, it really wasn't, uh-oh, and you hot-foot it back to where you were going, still a perfect movie. This card is still the perfect card for that you. The walrus is the perfect animal for you, and here's why. It can't be proven, but it's very much thought that even though mermaids, that legend and lore and Greek myth goes way, way back to, when those things were created, it's possible that the seamen who created, those myths, those legends, whoever they came from, they might have seen walrus and seal slipping and sliding, sunning on the rocks, not, slipping into the water, staying under for a long amount of time, so on and so forth. And it from a distance, it could have looked like a woman to them, a woman's figure, because they've got that really slinky S curve. And back then, women, men enjoyed, Zaftig women. This is why I want to go back in time. But gonna go back in time. All right, so when we take a look at some of the symbolism from Walrus, we see a shapeshifter. We see somebody who's clumsy on land. They are like Olympic style divers, and they're so lithe and so acrobatic and just so graceful in the water. So you've got you've got that throughout. I mean, pick a culture that knows what a walrus is, and a sea lion, and it even it even goes to seal, and they really have so many stories about ancient wisdom and stories about their shape shifting abilities. So the flip side of this card is that you're walking away from something, and maybe it's rightly so, but maybe you're walking away, and I watch this. Sadly, I watch it every week. I do readings, which pretty much every week. um I just watch people do this, and at first I used to try to save them, right? Scorpio, the saver, the Mercury, uh the saver archetype. Whoo, thank goodness I let go of that. But it still makes me sad, so sad for them when I watch them blow up everything when they're right there. They're right on the cusp of success, and whoosh. I just watched somebody do that. I watched somebody, I watched this person do this in horror, just in horror. They hurt some people along with them taking themselves down. I didn't appreciate that very much. But I watched a person who could have been really something. And by that, what I mean is what this person wants to be, or what they declare they want to be. And they were right there. They had so much divine help from this. People and situations that just just kept on presenting, that they they got right to the pinnacle and just blitzkrieged it. They laid scorched earth. Maybe they realize it by now, maybe they don't, maybe they never will. But the reason that I bring that situation up, that I literally just witnessed, and I watch all the time in readings, watch it all the time, is because this card to me is a narcissist card. I call it the narcissist card. Now, I don't feel like walrus and seal and whatever are narcissists, but animals will do whatever they need to do to get whatever they want. Mostly it's survival if it's in the wild, but they will do whatever they want and they won't make any apologies for it. I don't think they feel badly for it. And that's a bit narcissistic, but it's also wild. So there again, there's that double-edged sword. It's narcissistic, but it's not really. But there's that truth in the middle. But for me, over the years, this card has taken on the personality of a narcissist card because you're only worried about what you see, what you think you're missing. Okay. And you might be missing that thing. Okay, quit crying about it. Go get what you want. But if you're one of those people, I know another person. This person does not see their victim, and that's the flip side of this narcissist and victim mentality. They don't see their victim mentality and they don't see how they orchestrate that. Uh, It's amazing that they can't see it, especially when everybody who orbits them tells them. This person is perpetually caught in the why does such a nice person always get, pooed on? I do so much for everybody. I give somebody the shirt off my back and I do it all the time and they just, people just walk all over me. I bet they do. I bet they do. Because you deliberately insert yourself in situations that Stevie Wonder could see is going to go badly for you. So stop doing that. Stop doing that. The good news of that is you can use seal energy, seal medicine, seal wisdom as a spirit totem and power animal to shoot right out of that and never have to go back there again. The next time you deep dive into something, you're going to catch what you want to catch, right? Okay. That said, moving, just kind of like, intertwining them and interfeeding them a little bit, just because the Eight of Cups can be it can be a crunchy card to explain to somebody, because the buck, at the end of the day, the buck stops with us. But that's why Kabbalists call the Eight of Cups the Lord of Abandoned Success. When you're a lord of something, the buck stops with you. When you're a lord of something, other people turn to you, which is what irks me the most about narcissists and people that do victim mentality nonsense. You're only thinking about yourself. This person that orchestrates the victim thing for themselves is truly one of the kindest people, truly one of the most non-judgmental people I've ever met. But the crying and the whining and the constant poverty and the constant turmoil and the constant drama, oh my God, I'd rather have a terrible hurricane season in Florida. Just, 75 hurricanes at once. I got beer stocked. I got a generator. Come on, y'all. We're good. Come on. Um, Narcissists, they're irksome. They are, but usually they tend to be really smart people. Where I'm going with this is the sheer fantasticness, the sheer magic that both of these people could offer to the world if they weren't being the lord and lords of abandoned success. It's just it's a crime. It's a crime against humanity that they won't get past this card, that they won't be the walrus and be able to shapeshift. And listen, I'm talking like I'm perfect. I'm not. Believe you me. Oh my God, I used to ride between narcissist and, I'm one of those rare people that can like, I could have been a victim at one time. I could have been a narcissist at one time. And, I'm trying to get over that stuff still. It's healed as much as I think it's healed, but who knows? Everybody's got bad days. They turn around and snap at people and say really crappy things they shouldn't say. And, it comes from all that stuff. But what I am saying is, when you look at the totality of the symbolism that comes for you in any day, I believe that things show up at the perfect moment for the perfect person at the perfect time. The perfect card on the perfect day at the perfect time at the perfect whatever. I really believe that. That's a synchronicity thing. It could be a sacred contract thing. It could be a precog thing. It could have been that the universe and I and Walrus and the Eight of Cups, because the Eight of Cups, the Lord of Abandoned Success, is a real living entity. So many people have thought of it, considered it, studied it, used it, flipped it, flipped the card, told a client, blah, blah, blah. It's now a living, breathing entity. So you get all those together on a Saturday when it's about your third eye chakra. And you get all those together on a Saturday where Saturn is the ruling planet, and it is about expediency. It is about let's go get it here so that it comes down into here and you're like, oh, okay. So that's why I'm being a little more aggressive than I normally am. And I'm being a little more like than I normally am because I take a look at the colors, the numbers, the times, the this, the that. It is about synchronicity. And, it can be so easily missed. So I'm just like, hey, y'all. And it's really not me. Please, I hope you know that I have the easiest job in the world. I just show up like a ventriloquist dummy and I say what the spirit animals and source or whatever, tells me to say. Now, having said that, I am being told to point out something about how things can be so, they can just be so delicate that you can miss the messages. A few weeks back, man, I got a lot of honeydew stuff I need done in my house. And finding a handyman right now in this day and age, my God, you got to book these fellas, like 4 weeks in advance. I just need some dang shelves hung. It's not that big of a deal. And no, I know theoretically how to hang shelves, but I'm not fixing to dig in my I'm not fixing to dig in my walls and not know where the stud is or this is or that is. I don't need to worry about that where that stud is. I'm single. I'm trying to worry about where other studs are, right? Okay. So I need a handyman. So I couldn't find one. My sister was over the other day. So I'm thinking about, I need these shelves hung. And she's sitting there talking, and I'm thinking, ooh, her husband's a master carpenter. I wonder if he would come over and just hang a couple shelves for me. I never asked him before. They've been married for 40 years, never asked him. Well, okay. While I'm thinking this, then she says, and he's just been so busy, blah, blah, blah. And there was my answer right there. No, don't ask him. He might say yes, but it might interfere with this and this and this. But it was so subtle. It just, the synchronicity of it was so that it was delicate. It was a delicate message, but because I recognized it, I know that there's some kind of drama, some abandoned success kind of thing that I just saved myself from, right? And him maybe in the process, and my sister in the process. So as you go through, this Saturday and beyond, know that the messages might be coming in pretty strongly and really quick, and know that you can work with walrus energy because they may have been the catalyst for those illusions, maybe. And it might be an illusion when you see them, from a distance wherever they are. But and you could mistake them for this animal, that animal, whatever. But there are a lot of really great things about walrus, and number one of them is, they say size matters. Well, in the walrus world, it really does, but it's about their tusks. And they tend to have a pecking order or a tusk-based hierarchy. The bigger, the better. And the females and the males have tusks. So when you're thinking about this, what's missing, that's a really big call for you to think, well, how big is this missing thing to you? Is it really big? Is it really up there in your hierarchy? If you chillax a minute and you get out of your emotions, because remember, the Eight of Cups is about emotion, right? It's water element, it's emotion. If you get out of that and you just take a look at the size of it, the length of it, the importance of it, whatever it or that person is, you'll be able to make your decision without having to walk away. And you may want to walk away. That may be the very best thing for you to do. Or you may not want to walk away. That also may be the very best thing for you to do. Pay attention to sounds. The males of the species, when it's mating season, when it's time to pair up with something, and I always think of a sacred relationship or a sacred pairing of something is the minute that you make a decision or the minute that you dream a dream. That's a sacred moment. That's a sacred moment that gives that something is fertile and it forms and it becomes alive, right? So listen to the sounds around you, just like that situation I just explained about my sister saying that. While I was like, ooh, I can get my brother-in-law to go zip, 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 and these little shelves will be up in my bathroom. Yay, they'll be so pretty, I could put candles on them. And then she said, wham! Nope. Not even knowing that she was doing that. Okay, so, and I, if somebody lives in Gainesville is watching these videos and you can put up shelves where they won't fall down and you won't wreck my bathroom, come on, please call me. I got to check. All right. So, um, the other thing is when you take a look at, I always love to look back at the ancient ways, the ancient times, the ancient symbols, the ancient this, because it was right. Every smack bit of it had foundations that were, awesome for us. There were there were walruses that had two sets of tusks. So I'm like a double your pleasure, double your fun kind of person, right? There's no sense in having one scoop of ice cream or one drink or one, whatever. Um, don't go there. I hear a few of you out there. I know the emails you guys send me. I hear you. Don't go there. So they make me laugh, but don't go there. So so it's doubly important that you double consider the double of whatever. And maybe you need to get a double message. I don't know. But there's something about the double that's going to take your attention today. So if you decide that you want to work with walrus as a spirit animal, or maybe you're like, I really think walrus has been coming to me as a spirit animal, chances are very good it's about time for you to count your blessings. Because even if you decide to stay where you're at and you don't turn your back and walk away from the cups you think are missing but aren't really missing, you you've thought it and you feel it, and something you've said or done has acted on it. I guarantee you, from the time we think something or feel something, everything else that comes out, we can think we're hiding. No, we're not, especially from your children. My favorite thing is when parents say, well, we hide it from the children. No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. I promise you, over 60,000 readings and hearing the after stories of so many, I would tell you that when I hear from people again, which is most of my clients, I would tell you an outrageous number like 90% where children were involved in, you know, some kind of affair thing going on in the marriage. There's a polyamory situation going on, nothing wrong with it. They just, if you're trying to keep it from your kids, you think you're hiding it, but they come back to me, I would say easily 85 to 90% of the time and go, the kids knew. They knew. Such and such kid said something, such and such kid, they knew. So this is time for you to appreciate your blessings and take some time to do that. Focus your intention and energy on that rather than what you think you're missing. If you're going to start drawing on walrus as a totem animal or as a power animal, there is very little, well, really, other than man, there's nothing that can take down a polar bear except for another polar bear and walrus. So you may need that kind of strength, and that's fine. And you may want to work with walrus with shapeshifting, but be very clear where you're at and who you are or what you are bucking up against before you get those tusks out there and start, wah, 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 or trying to whap them with your fins. Because if you're on land, you may be big, you may have those tusks, but you don't have mobility. You, you're like, you know, you're the man with no arms. You're like, woo, woo. Um, you have other things going for you, but other people very well may outmaneuver you. Now, if you're in the water element, if you're talking about feelings, nothing more than feelings, worst song to come out of that decade. Just a horrible song, but it's true. You could be the victor of the day if you really want to be, and how much damage do you want to do, right? So that, I told you guys it was going to be a lot to consider. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not positive, it's not negative. And I so many other cards, like the devil card came out this week, and there have been some other cards that are like a little crunchy. So I asked Spirit what that was all about, and the animal allies were like, look, there is such a huge change coming at the first of the year. The people with the narcissism, the people with the victim mentalities, the people that are allowing themselves to be, you know, um, affected negatively by these kinds of people, or their own addictions, like in the devil card, or this or that. It's time to cut the nonsense. Just stop it where it is. And I'm not saying that the way you feel is nonsense. It's not. It's just that every person knows at their core what is not working for them and what is working for them. And it really doesn't take too very much for them to figure out why. They just have to allow themselves to see it. That's all. And that's hard. because then we talk about shame, and we could do this video for another hour and a half about just the shame issue, right? But you don't have time for that anymore. It's time for you to be courageous, even if you are clumsy on land. Okay, you still got your big old tusks, you still got your girth, your I call it largeness of spirit or largesse of spirit. I'm not talking about the physical. I mean, if you're like me, I'm big boned. That's what I tell the scale in the doctor's office every time I go. I'm big boned. Um, I'm from Norwegian stock, which is not true. But you just don't have time, because the opportunities that are going to present themselves to you next year, they're amazing. And you got to show up to claim those. And the way you show up to claim those is to shed yourself of all of this, or shed yourself of associations who have this issue, and do nothing but have the ability to stay wild.